Comic-Cons are the worst. Is it conventions? Is that what it is? Is that what that is? Comic-Con convention? I've never been to Comic-Con. Is it because there's like smelly people or something like that? Isn't Comic-Con in California or something like that? I wouldn't be surprised because it's a bunch of smelly ass people to begin with. San Diego? Oh, okay. I remember the one time I went to a convention or so, there was this one dude who cosplayed as Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Fuck, man, dude, that guy fucking stank, dude. He stank pretty fucking bad, to be honest. Like I said, my nose is not that strong or so it has to be a really, really strong smell or so for me to smell it, right? Fuck, dude, that shit was horrendous, dude. It was like basically when SpongeBob ate that onion or so and he opened his mouth or so and he started talking to people, and then my body just jerked in like the most violent way possible or so, and that's basically what happened. His smell literally like fucking traveled literally through the ends of the universe to get to my nose, and it made me fucking jolt so hard, to be honest.
Store to buy new merch.
It was bad. It was really bad, I'm gonna be honest with you. That was like,
shirt was added
oh my
just
god,
to our
dude,
collection.
that was something, I'll be honest
April
with you.
26, so get yours before time
Like,
runs
the
out.
funny thing about it is that he was in the lobby, I was in the lobby too, but like, the funny thing about it, nobody was like crossing like in his like peripheral area. It was like a big circle, like there was like a big circle or so around him specifically, and people were going like around, like kind of like around like the circumference of the area of him specifically. But when he goes into the actual stage floor itself, oh my god, dude, there was a couple times that I passed by him or so, and my god, dude, it was, I think he was probably the only one who stank the most, I think. Yes, I think so.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing?
Hey,
Go ahead and
Sage.
sit down because today we're going to be talking about comic conventions, Comic-Cons. There are all sorts of cons around the globe where people meet to celebrate their love of shared interest, but none are as popular or as influential as Comic-Con. The fan convention dates as far back as the 1960s and has evolved into one of the biggest annual events existing today. Throughout the 4-day event, over 100,000 fans.
You have no idea how excited I am for next year. You have no idea how excited I am for next year. God Lord, man, I swear to God. But I have to see. I have to find out how much everything's in total is, because it might be. It might be just a little bit out of my budget range, so I'm gonna ask her if I can pay half of it for this time around, at least for this month, and then next month I should be able to pay the other half. So
Continue to celebrate pop culture in all of its forms.
I'm super excited.
This is just one
I am super
con of
excited.
many.
You have no idea how excited I am.
There are all sorts of local conventions that allow people from even the smallest towns to be a part of this experience. However, these conventions are not without their problems. Not only are they becoming more widely popular and densely packed, but the shift to a broader focus on pop culture over just comics has slowly driven many people away. And it goes without saying that putting many obsessive fans and collectors in the same place can lead to some imaginable horrors, all right? So, grab your badges and fresh stick of deodorant as we trudge through the chaos. That is Comic-Con. And we wanted to do this video because we just recently went to Kansas City Comic-Con, Planet Comic-Con, and we were selling Margarets. We do have a Margaret toy for people who don't know, and it was a lot of fun. But I will say, does it even feel like Comic-Con anymore? Feels like just a celebrity meet and greet. Also, $120 to meet to what? To take a photo?
To meet Frodo himself?
Well, dude, they did Frodo and fucking Samwise Gamgee, whatever, as one. I think that was like $400 to do a paired photo for like a 60-second interaction. Hey, I love your movie. Hey, thank you. You get ushered across. Is that not the great? Also, I saw Bruce Dickinson at the Kansas City Comic-Con. He's the lead singer of Iron Maiden.
Oh.
Has 5 like platinum albums. What do you charge $150 to sign an album? Isn't that crazy? Jacob, who works here, he went to sign his and he was like, "Oh, hey Bruce, how you doing?" He was like, "Oh." He just signed it and that was it. That was it, right? That was it. Are you a big fan? A big fan. I feel like conventions as a whole, we need to, the only ones I like now are, it keeps like, they keep trimming them to where now they become even more, like the niche conventions are the ones I go to. Like I like toy conventions, like little like underground shit where it's like, I went to a GI, this is very cringe. I went to a G.I. Joe convention one time, not because I like G.I. Joes, but because there was just like small toy vendors there, and you're able to look at all. It was cool. You go to that shit and you're like, what the fuck is this even from? And that guy like floats out of the darkness and he's like, so actually that was like an import from Sweden. They only did like 300 of these, so it's like that kind of thing. And I like that. I'm not even the biggest comic guy, but it does feel weird going to a comic book convention and it's like that's the back burner. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares about the comics? It's all about the 3D printed dragons.
3D printed dragons, the same art prints and posters, Funko Pops, and did we say 3D dragons? A lot of 3D printed dragons.
I've never seen the 3D printed dragons.
One of the main appeals of attending a comic convention
Actually,
is the prospect of finding a cool piece of art or merch. Sadly, the Artist Alley is one of the most neglected parts of the con experience, according to both staff and attendees, which I will say, Artist Alley is...
Dude, Artist Alley is such the goat, dude. I swear to God, like looking at some of like the different arts or so from different artists is actually really cool. I would totally love to sell my art or so, at least in some of these, but I heard like it can get kind of pricier, so kind of like setting up all that shit and then getting the prints or so for all that.
One of the loneliest, saddest places on earth. I want to look at people's art and walk through there, but I do hate it because it feels like I'm at like a dog shelter. You know what I mean? Where if you like look at one, you catch somebody in the eye, they're like,
and they have puppy dog eyes. And
well, it's like come buy something. I mean, it feels like take me home, yeah. Doesn't it? It feels like that though. And you sit there and I always feel like, and I feel bad because I feel like I have to throw out a comment. Oh, I like the pens. Each year, hundreds of artists and creators pay good money to attend comic conventions to sell their own art and prints from their favorite fandoms. However, what was once a focal point of the convention has now been seemingly pushed to the side. At numerous events, the Artist Alley has been moved far from the main vendor floor with no signs to direct attendees, leaving most Artist Alley a barren wasteland, which is an even bigger kick in the teeth when it's like, yeah, I had to pay $600 to get a table up here. $600! If I flew in, how much money do I have to even break even? You know what I mean? Well, thank God I brought my prints and my sketchbook. It's like unfucking real. And then yeah, they put you in the shadow. The power. It's like a motion activated light in the back of the convention. It's super dark. Everyone's just in there like sitting at their table like this.
At least you could sit and like work on your comic.
You could have done that at home. You could have done that at home and just taken a picture. I mean, it's the biggest scam that conventions do, I feel like, is making them they charge so much for a fucking table.
They do.
Real estate. All the way in the back.
And then you have to pay $80 for Wi-Fi.
Especially if it's Comicon and in California.
I couldn't fucking
I feel like
believe
it'd be
that.
expensive
Sometimes
as hell.
their designated spots have poor Wi-Fi, making sales take forever or nearly impossible to complete with like the little square reader. It's fucking obnoxious. And even if you have a successful weekend at your booth, there are still tons of random problems that many artists don't account for. For example, comic publishers from Japan and the US send agents to conventions to shut down any booth selling any unauthorized merchandise.
What?
A fucking Midwest comic convention. You. Like an FBI agent or like a Men in Black. Is this your Naruto drawing? Yeah? Now you don't know how to draw. This video is sponsored by Incogni. These days it's hard to go anywhere where your data can't be found. With a quick scan of the internet, scammers and data brokers can find your home address and phone number.
Anyways.
Yourself from the internet. They can't harm you if they can't find you. Click the link below to claim your 60% off and get your personal data off the market. Thank you to Incogni for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video. Some event organizers will set up events near the Artist Alley that directly distract from their booths. Like when one convention scheduled a 3-hour wrestling event right in front of the artist's booths, drawing away all their potential customers and costing them money. Hey, to be fair, it's kind of sweet.
You think putting an event like that would be like, hey, go to Artist Alley though, right? That's what my thing is. It's like, if there's something in the middle of Artist Alley, people have to go through there and walk through.
I think that they should put it to where you have to walk through to get to the vendors you want to do, so then they can experience and look at the stuff. There's some conventions where they'll put those motherfuckers on a totally different floor. Yeah. Like, this is the main floor, and then upstairs something's happening. I don't know what it is. It's that kind of thing. Which, to be fair, there are a lot of people who are like, the artists though who go there and they're like, they feel slighted. It's like, what do you expect? What do you expect by this point? You know? I guess the wrestling match took away all my money. It's like, yeah, dude, the wrestling match is way cooler than the fucking Joker print you have. Sorry. That's the reality of the situation. Many creators are left frustrated by these ongoing difficulties, and some are choosing to pack up and leave conventions early because it's no longer worth their time. It's not just the con making it hard for artists, but the artists themselves. At certain cons, staff are now having to remove booths from Artist Alley because they bring obnoxious lighting and sound setups that annoy nearby artists and attendees. What would that even be? What sounds would they have? Just jungle sounds.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it is, so where well, I don't know how it is now. I haven't been to the convention in quite some time. I don't think these rules are the same thing or so. But you have like the artist alley. At least like it's not really much of an artist alley. It's more like literally like the artist is literally like almost like kind of like front and center. They kind of take like part of the front row and then the mid row section of like the art itself, and they're part of the main exhibit of the main floor. And then at the kind of like in the back or so, they have the wrestling, because they also had wrestling too, but then they have the car show on like the right side. And then they have, and I think after the art, they have like a video game center area, I think on the right side. And then they have like a bunch of vendors, like on the right side, and then like kind of like the back part or so before you hit the wrestling area. Well, that's how it was, at least the last time I went to. They had like vendors, and they sell like a bunch of knickknacks and stuff. They sell cards, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! You got figures as well scattered around within like the areas. You got the t-shirt people, but you still have like quite a lot of people who sell like art in general.
Also, obnoxious lights. You're in a fully lit room. What could I mean, if it was a strobe light,
I think that's what
if I was sitting across from a strobe light and had to look at it all day, I might complain as well. But I mean, what the fuck else do you want it to be?
Can't they just tell them to turn it off, the staff? Oh no, you can't do that.
Maybe. That sounds like what they're maybe doing is telling them to take it down. I don't know.
I thought they were kicking them out and banning them for life.
Maybe it's just that immediate jump. Get out of here, never come back forever until the end of time. This can include massive displays which are deemed dangerous because they are unstable and hang over walkways. What? What are these? I can't like. Is this like Kanye's like stage setup? You know what I mean? Where it like hovers over the crowd.
Have you seen his new stage? It's a fucking globe. Yeah.
It's insane. It has like random holes that shoots out smoke
cool.
and stuff.
I
think it spins too, because he walks and plays.
It spins?
I think so.
Good fucking lord. Don't put that in Artist Alley, is all I gotta say. On the other side, fans who attend these conventions are starting to dislike Artist Alley because they're all selling them the same prints. And very rarely do people bring original works of art anymore, which is true. A lot of the times, that's another thing with these conventions is it's these vendors who are going from cons to cons, but I feel like they're all getting stuff from the same supplier, so everything looks the exact same.
Or there's just trends, like everybody has a Joker thing.
A Joker, an anime
Man.
thing, or yeah. Whatever's the hot.
Well, it's cause these are all tackling for the casual people, you know? You rarely see anything that's like, you know, out of the blue or so when it comes to like at least the anime or like whatever. Like you never see like, cause when I go to convention, right? The first thing I'm gonna do, right? When I go to a convention specifically, what kind of like poster art pieces that I could get of my waifus, you know, my girls, basically my girls that I usually go for them and see how common it is to get them. I still haven't found a art piece poster from an artist who did Mashiro from Pet no Kanojo, and also what's the name? It's that one orange hair butler girl that looks like a guy or so. I forgot the name of that anime specifically. But she's like a reverse trap. I forgot the name. Funny enough, the last time I went to a convention, there was actually no Xenon. There was no Xenon freaking poster of her whatsoever. I think I've managed to find one poster of Kurumi, and I think that was pretty much about it. I think it was just like one poster, just one. But they had all the other ones, but they were like the super mainstream stuff, and I was just kind of like, I don't really care half the entire time during that time specifically.
They all are selling that exact same thing. In the last few years, AI art has also flooded conventions, leading more people to lose interest. And thankfully, Comicon has come out in support of artists and banned the sale of AI art and content at their events. That is, however, only going to apply to people who get caught, which also I think a lot of conventions aren't going to give a fuck after a while. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't even know. Couldn't tell you. All right.
I will be honest with you, during the time of the boom of the AI art thing, I talked to a bunch of artists or or so in the actual artist alley, and some of them actually did use AI in their workflow. Some of them didn't. Some of them were okay with it. Some were okay with the AI tools. Some were not. And most of the ones that who did use it or so would use it for background while they draw the character itself. But they make sure they clean it up and polish it and making sure that it fits very well with the actual image itself. And that was pretty much about it, though. I had no complaint about it at the end of the day. I was like, hey, you know what? You still did the work, though. So.
Go ahead. There still exist many artists who have positive experiences in the alley, being able to meet with other artists and make money doing what they love. Some of you might be wondering why the artist alley has been so forgotten by the event's organizers. Well, a big reason for that is that the slot being sold in the vendor halls bring in so much money in its place. Nowadays, if you attend any con or public event, you are bound to find tables of 3D printed garbage. And listen, I love 3D printed things, but it's the same idea of the vendors. They're all using the same files and printing the same shit to where now, when I see a 3D printed dragon, I have a full-blown panic attack. You know what I mean? I see him strung up and I feel like I'm like
I would totally like to go to the convention next year. Just to see if I see some 3D printed dragons. I would totally take a picture of it though.
Like a Vietnam vet.
I found a 3D printed
I get
dragon.
all claustrophobic. I have to leave. It's anytime. Dude, I've been seeing them at antique malls.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are they there? You have like there's like a fucking Ronald McDonald sign, and then all of a sudden there's a full booth of just fucking 3D printed dragons and beetles.
It's probably like the shop owner's like nephew or something. Can't I put my 3D printed stuff in here?
Here's the thing though, is it's never one. It's so many. To the point where I'm like, how much filament and time went into these fucking dragons, dude? It's unreal. These booths have taken over comic conventions, offering overpriced items like fidget dragon prints, busts of popular characters, and decorative swords, some of which are going for $50 or more.
Jesus.
What do you think about the whole sword? Remember we went to like a card collection convention that we did on our Media Magic? There was like a fucking giant booth.
Oh, there's more.
Oh yeah, I've
laid out
seen
like
this
a
before
fucking
too.
like a Nigerian arms salesman. I was like, holy fuck! There's keyblades and Final Fantasy swords. He's like,
yeah, my older brother was looking at those stuff, to be honest.
He would look mean with the keyblade.
Keyblade with the Naruto.
It was great. I thought I was on the set of fucking Blood Diamond for a second, looking at all these goddamn swords.
I guess if you're a fan of it, I wouldn't buy a sword.
If I was a kid.
Yeah.
I guess to be fair, if I was like that was like my big appeal going to the Renaissance Fair when I was a kid. Getting like the wooden swords and the foam swords and that kind of stuff. So I guess I could see it. I was always hyped whenever someone had like an Aragorn sword.
Or like Kratos's blades.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool thing to like kind of like put it on the like I guess in your like gamer room or whatever. It just puts like the video game reference on there, you know, on the wall. That's not bad.
Yeah, I would be so stoked. Those are not even the worst things sold on the vendor floor. In recent years, Labubus and other blind boxes have taken over the sales floor, with Pop Mart usually having massive booths at comic conventions. Trendy items like Labubus will likely fade away within 5 years. Funko Pops, however, are a permanent fixture, dominating the vendor floor like a goddamn cancer.
I hate Funko Pops. I don't see the appeal of them whatsoever.
Man. If you like Funko Pops is one thing, but I wish that there was a thing where they're like, I wish conventions would be like, we have two. There's two vendors that do the Funko Pops. It's everywhere. It's fucking every booth you go by. To the point, and you know what's weird is I'll even do a couple laps throughout the day or do whatever. None of them sell. I want to actually know if there's someone who sells Funko Pops and that watches our videos at a convention, how much honestly are you selling? Because every time I go, I never see anyone holding. Actually, that's not true. If there's an actor there who is of that, I'm like, and if anything, just bring those Funko Pops. I saw like a fucking Art the Clown one because that dude was there. And it's like, oh, that's the perfect thing if you want to get signed. But then it's just it's the ugliest fucking little creature in a box you've ever seen. I'd rather have like a print or something signed, but I digress.
Could you imagine going up to an actor and they hand you a Funko Pop to sign? You know, just like...
If someone came to me and they're like, could you sign my Funko Pop of you? I make jokes about me shooting myself all the time, but... you know what I would do. As soon as you walk through the venue doors, your eyes will be met with Funko Pops stacked to the ceiling at countless booths. I mean, it's like a fucking wall of Funkos. What's even crazier is that they are resellers and not even like official booths. It's just people upselling you Funko Pops blatantly to your face. Oh yeah, I'm gonna charge 5% extra. I've had people say that to me. Well, I gotta charge 5% extra because to keep making the booth fee. No one's making you be here. You're putting that on me, the customer. Okay, it would be understandable to have 2 or 3 booths, but the plastic figurines cover the entire floor and can even be found at booths unrelated to Funko Pops, even like comic booths or anything. Still, tons of Funkos. Funko, once again, has ruined my day. Some vendors resell their exclusive Funkos, which can show price tags up to $40,000 for a single Funko. And we have covered the insanity of Funko Pops before. However, if someone is going to pay for an item that expensive, you'd think it'd be a genuine movie prop or like a rare comic at one of these conventions instead of just a rare Funko. And if they're that popular, why is there not just, this is just the Funko convention? I'm saying a touring thing that's as regular as Comicon. So you just push those out. That way, if you see it at one of the other conventions, you have every right to stone them. We go into archaic rules and laws from days of old in the Bible, and we stone these people.
You think Funkos will eventually... I mean, they're dying, but do you think they'll die completely?
I don't think so. It has too many movie IPs to where, if anything, there'll probably be a thing that happens that usually happens with the youth is like, ironically, it'll come back. Like the way that like some fashion from the early 2000s is coming back. Like I feel like Funkos are going to come back in a weird way. Like the same way that people like nowadays are like, oh, I love Beanie Babies. It's like, who the fuck? Like, really? You want to collect Beanie Babies now?
You weren't even born.
I think it's going to have that effect. The sad reality is that many convention goers will buy multiple Funkos from multiple vendors, which only encourages more resellers to show up and block out potentially unique or cool booths. Which also, I have to, I very rarely see people buy the Funkos. And if it is that profitable, I just feel like you would just see way more of them.
You think people are ashamed of carrying their Funkos around?
That's a very good point. I do. I think that there's a stigma now that I think, because you know, whenever you're like walking to a convention, you're like walking by and someone's like walking by and they do like,
yeah.
And you're like, it's because of the Funko.
I'll put it in my bag.
Exactly. Now I have a big black bag I put all my Funkos in. Look like fucking Krampus leaving the Comicon.
I was gonna say, like, Funkos are mass produced, so I mean, granted, there's rarer ones, but like, buy them online. Like, why are you going to a convention and like being like, oh, I don't have that Funko.
I mean, I get it. Probably is a thing where it's like maybe they're not available online. I'm just playing devil's advocate of like maybe it's also just the thrill of the hunt.
Okay, that's fair.
Right?
That's fair. People like going.
Yeah,
I
mean, there's
stuff.
things where it's like I could get online, but it's the idea of being like I come across it one day somehow feels more special in some weird chimp-like thought pattern that I have in my head. I don't know. While the San Diego Comic-Con and other large conventions have their own problems and controversies, there are a bunch of smaller local cons that are just as bad, if not worse. The biggest problem that many small comic conventions face is not having the money or the staff to put on a proper event. Super Fan Comic-Con was a local comic convention held in Toronto, Canada. In 2014, that was a complete and total disaster. Organizers of the event estimated that there would be over 15,000 attendees, which drew many vendors and celebrities. However, on the day of the event, only 2,000 people showed up, causing many of the main attractions to pack up and leave due to low sales and feeling misled. Which, considering how expensive it is to lock down booth space, this is especially bad for those trying to actually make a living doing like the circuit and stuff, right?
Damn, that
also,
is pretty bad.
people like a Toronto thing. I wonder how many people actually flew.
Oh yeah.
Flew out of country to go there.
I would say most of them.
Also, 2,000 people is so small. Like in the grand, like I'm trying to picture how big the space is. Like the one in Kansas City has like in a huge convention space. I'm wondering if it's like just how empty and quiet was that convention.
Very awkward, yeah.
Yeah. Also, packing up early would kill me.
I would just stay for the whole thing.
Fuck it, I'm already here. I'll just leave my booth unattended and go like hang out in Toronto or something like that. A year later, at the Fanfare Comic Convention, numerous celebrity guests canceled their appearance because the organizers didn't have enough money to pay them to show up. And this has been a growing problem in the industry where even C-list celebrities were asking for like a shit ton of money and personal services to appear at conventions, making it harder for small cons to get good guests. Which also, here's the thing, fuck the celebrities.
Yes.
What's insane and totally criminal to me is that like, let's say like a Matthew Lillard, whatever. That motherfucker's probably getting like 50 to 80 grand to show up for a weekend, right? And then he's having you pay 100 to 150 bucks to what? To sign a picture? To take a selfie with them?
Is that the con making him do it though?
I think it's just him. I think they're saying that by you coming here, they might take a small cut, but I doubt it. I bet you they're paying him and they're like, you can come here and then you can charge people to do that because we know that we're gonna put your face on a billboard and then it's gonna drive a shit ton of ticket sales is what I think it's gonna be. Yeah, it's just a way for them to drive ticket sales. That's all it is.
Like,
I mean, hey,
what can you
make
find,
that bread,
you know?
I guess. And if people are willing to like pay for it, who am I to say? I don't know. Despite not having the same resources, smaller cons still have tons of cosplayers and interesting characters who can ruin other people's experiences. While at a small con, a man in cosplay was waiting for his wife to return from getting an autograph when a morbidly obese, acne-ridden couple approached him and started taking pictures. The woman who had a horrid stench yelled, "I want all that!" and took a picture of his ass before walking away. Did we have to dig into their looks
Jesus.
that hard?
You have to paint a picture.
Also, at a certain point, which this is obviously, I'm not saying that overtly sexual, but if you're into cosplay, like obviously going to someone and being like, "Oh, I want all that," it's a bit much. But I mean, are you not opening up people to just like take a picture of you?
Yeah, I feel like if you're at a convention, as long as it's a normal picture.
No, don't get me wrong. There are etiquettes to it. I've seen people go up and they're like, "Do you mind if I snap a photo?" Which is extremely polite. But I've also seen people like walk by and they'll like wait till they're behind someone and then like take photos of them. Not necessarily sexually of like their ass or anything, but I just mean like that they didn't want to have the
interaction.
Yeah. Which it's like just so much creepier. And it's so obvious too, especially whenever the old guys like hold the camera like this.
I'm gonna be so
Adjust their
excited
glasses.
when I cosplay to a convention.
Oh, what's also?
You guys will never know who I am. I'm going
You just have to
incognito
look at
mode.
it and then suspiciously look around. Have you noticed that? Every time I saw this at Comicon, anytime someone, they'd be like,
You'll never know. You'll never know.
it makes it seem like they just took a picture of something they shouldn't have.
Yeah. Making sure they didn't get caught taking the picture.
This guy just took a picture of me standing there. I looked at him. I said, "Oh, what's up, man?" And he didn't say anything. He just
walked away.
can't say hide me. Fuck's sakes. One of the biggest attractions at any comic convention, big or small, is the celebrity panel, where guests can meet and interact with their favorite movie stars or comic artists. If you thought you could just walk,
I really never, like, when I went to the convention or so, like, they had, like, you can meet the voice actor of this specific anime or this specific show or whatever. So I've never even really bothered going to those lines whatsoever, because I'm like, I'm there for the convention for like the art stuff, the cool knickknacks that they have, maybe buy a shirt here and there, maybe, or look at the pretty cars. That's kind of like basically it.
through the doors when the panel starts. Be prepared for a disappointing weekend. Regardless of the size, lines for these talks usually take hours or even a full day to stand through to talk to one of these motherfuckers. In advance, with many fans pitching tents and sleeping overnight to hold their spot.
What?
To talk to like a guy from Supernatural. One of the actors from Supernatural. Oh, God, I hope I meet him. I love your show. Thanks.
My sister loved that show.
Whoa, that was amazing.
I mean, they cut people off, right?
Oh, yeah.
They realize, like, oh, wait.
I think there's a literal count. Like, I think that that's another thing that the cons will do is be like, on these specific days, how many people are you willing to sit through? And the actors will be like, I don't know, how many are willing to pay? And after a while, though, I think that they do cut it off because they don't want to block shit, but I don't know. Because this is so common, most venues have specific practices to help prevent lines from getting out of hand. Line capping is when staff temporarily stop people from getting in line. Otherwise, they would wrap around the entire con venue and sometimes even out the door. And most venues also have security guards and staff walking up and down the line to prevent people from cutting or to stop fights. What remains is a cramped graveyard of nerds sleeping in the cold so they can be the first to receive their next hit of Marvel slop dopamines. Jesus, dude. Motherfuckers getting personal in this document. Holy shit. People camping out just to, like, you know, be able to interact with somebody that, I mean, at this point, though, you would have to assume that these people are like, I love this actor. You know, it's weird, though, is, I mean, a lot of people I hear they wait in these lines for hours, and they're like, yeah, I mean, I like that one movie they're in. It's like they're not even that big of a fan.
Oh, that's
It's so
bizarre.
weird. There's some people where they're, like, shaking and they're, like, cry. Like, and I'm like, hey, obviously this means something to you that we don't understand, but to just be so casual, like, I have nothing else better to do.
Well, there's
It's
some
kinda
people who
crazy.
are like, oh, I don't know him, but he looks popular, so I gotta meet him.
Yeah.
There's like people like that mentality of FOMO. Like, if I don't do this, I'm missing out on something.
Yeah, I'm gonna regret it.
Guy did said that to me at the convention.
What?
Well, he like went up and he's looking at the line that you had, and he's just like, who is this guy? What, is he popular? I was like, oh yeah, we're kind of popular. We have a YouTube channel. Anyways, was talking to him. He's just like, I don't know you guys, but I feel like I gotta buy something from you. I feel like I'm missing out.
I've had people say it to me, and I'm like, you absolutely don't have to do that. If anything, it'd make me more comfortable if you just didn't do that. I feel like you're just popular, I gotta buy something. I'm like, that's like the opposite. You should go to somebody who's not doing super great and help them out. You know what I mean? I'm selling a toy, like an oven toy. Here, take it. Take the wallet. There's no amount of time that's too much for passionate fans. Some are so dedicated, they'll go to great lengths to meet their favorite celebrity. The line to see Jason Momoa at the Basingstoke Comicon was a total disaster, as the event organizers overbooked the panel, leaving people waiting over 12 hours to get
Holy-
inside. To make matters worse, Jason left after one day despite being scheduled for the whole weekend, and numerous staff members were physically attacked by guests in line after being forced to hold their place in the sweltering heat. While those who stood in line were justified in being angry, the actual temperature was only about 77 degrees. And the report of the disaster claimed it was akin to Firefest, which blew it way out of proportion.
A bunch of nerds complaining. Oh.
Jason Momoa, I'm getting sunburned! 12 hours for Jason Momoa? Is that worth it?
No.
No.
Besides like Khal Drogo and Aquaman, has he been in anything else? Minecraft, actually. Never mind. Minecraft.
Yeah, but I
Minecraft.
would
Conventions can often be a flood to the senses. It's not just loud sounds you have to worry about, however,
Smell.
because the stench is even more powerful.
If you can afford Anime Expo, you can afford the deodorant. That is so true. So true. You can afford to take a shower, bro. Fuck, man.
Like other events, comic conventions are no strangers to the smell of body odor and feces. Sweating at a con is normal. You're walking around all day, sometimes in layers of cosplay attire that can cause you to otherwise overheat, right? Or even just the amount of body heat in there, you're walking around and it is what it is. People are gonna sweat. However, it's hard to deny that some attendees are simply unhygienic, no matter how many
Yes.
people want to blame it on the
Timothy,
venues.
Hold on. Not that popular opinion, probably, but cons should be better managed. The amount of tickets they sell and the capacity of venues. A lot of cons are overcrowded as fuck. What makes it worse is that most of the popular con venues have very bad airflow systems, and if regular visitors are mostly fine, cosplayers just get cooked inside their costumes. Yeah. I think I remember one of the, anime cons or so in California or so, that one of my friends were telling me or so, that it was so overcrowded or so. There was like an insane amount of people or so that was there. I don't know which, I know it was a couple years ago, but I don't remember
Bad airflow.
what year exactly
God
it
damn,
was.
fucking damn. Turn on the AC. It's like other people have sweatshirts on. Jesus. For years now, people have complained to the event organizers about the smell and even bring signs.
That's the one. Yeah, Anime Expo. Thank you. I just couldn't remember.
Chastising smelly attendees that read.
I
and
went
quote,
one
if
year,
you can afford
never
the entry
again."
ticket, you can afford a stick of deodorant. Maybe that's just what people need.
There's only one convention I went to. It's every couple of times or so, not every single year because it'd be too fucking expensive for me to go every single year. It's the one in when I went to visit or so, because I had an advertisement that popped up on me specifically. It was the one in what was it, Level Up Expo, the one in Las Vegas. I went with my sister, I went with my older brother. We went to go visit over there. It was actually really fun. It was actually a very cool convention. It was a lot smaller when we originally attended, and then it got bigger, so more popular. And we did visit, the third. I don't know. It's somewhere around there, to be honest. I think it was probably 3 times or so that we went there. Maybe 4, 3 or 4. Fuck, I don't remember. But we went to visit there, and it was definitely one of the best ones. That was one of the times where I told you guys where I met that fat Sora guy who was smelling so bad, to be honest. But I'll definitely love to go there if I can afford it, of course. That probably would be my mini vacation, to be honest. So, yeah.
Need sometimes is a nice kick in the ass. At Comic-Con, however, you'll sometimes see things that make you question whether or not the attendees are even human.
What is that?
What? God damn. Well, at the New York Comic-Con, numerous guests reported seeing and smelling smears of human poop right in the middle of the show floor.
Oh god, that's nasty, dude. What the fuck, man? People smearing poop on the floor, bro? What the fuck?
How? Who did this? I've seen some people do some sneaky shits though in public.
Oh yeah.
Quickly pull out their pants. And they walk off and people like step in it and stuff.
Or they do the waddle and they kick it out of their
They
pant
kick
leg.
it out of their pants. the waddle and kick, you can get prison time for doing that shit, right?
Can you?
I would assume for shitting on the floor. I mean, like, that's got to be some type of act of bioterrorism, you would assume, right?
I've seen this one where this lady, she couldn't hold her diarrhea, so she like pulled her pants down and like shit in like the
What?
refrigerated like produce area.
People are so fucking vile.
That's
It's unbelievable, man.
nasty.
Not only did someone walk through it, but the staff believed that the person who did this dropped it while walking around the con as if it was smooth and subtle. Well, they don't know who it was, so it probably was pretty fucking smooth and subtle. Event staff would block off area as janitors made their way through the crowd. They had to actively tell people to stop taking photos. Despite the sneaky attendees and crazy fans, comic conventions
That's
remain among the most
nasty,
popular
dude.
kinds of conventions in the United States. Even though I will say, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older.
Not
It's-
surprised for me. Here at mine, we got people jizz on the floor. Weird thing is, no one even noticed. That's disgusting, dude. What the fuck? Ew, dude. What the hell? People jizzing now? What?
feels like it's getting worse every year. Like I have a feeling like after a while, it's going to completely revert to.
Okay, definitely. If I go to a convention or something, I'll probably wear a mask. To be honest.
Meet a celebrity. The title of Comic Con
Maybe, perhaps.
I feel like that has to go away soon. It's going to just be Celebrity Con or something.
It
really is nothing more than a fun
something?
place where people get to
Ew.
gather and share their nerdy interests, meet others in their fan communities, and go home with some cool shit. If you can attend a Comic Con near you, have fun, but be mindful and avoid bothering people. And for the love of God, bring deodorant. And also, dude,
Just take a shower.
don't pay for the celebrity line.
No.
In my opinion.
I think I say don't shit your pants.
Oh yeah, that should go without saying. I guess what I'm saying is this video just made me, it has made me an advocate for being like, I mean, who am I to say? I just like, it's never worth it. They're never going to say anything. You're going to walk up and it's like it's cool meeting people that you're like, I'm a huge fan of you. But at the end of the day, it's the conversation's 60 seconds, if that. And then you get to go off and do whatever. I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it. If anything, I would say try to go to some place where like, look at the actual people who are like selling
That's
real art
nasty.
and try to pick up that. At least for me personally, that's where I have the most.
Yeah, support artists.
It's fucking cool.
Ew,
That's also why I like
ew,
local zine cons and all that
ew.
kind of like, I don't know, it's like some hipster artsy shit. There's a lot of dog shit stuff there too. But let me tell you, it's cool seeing local people in your community, especially if you're in like a flyover Midwest state or something. There's a lot of fucking cool artists in your area that might be making some shit where you're like, oh, this is sick. Especially if you are a fan of comics. There's like a lot of local comic people that you should check out their stuff. It's cool. You know what I mean? So that's all I have.
You know, funny thing about it is, so I have like local comic book markets. I have 2 local comic book markets in my local area. Well, actually, like as in like local area, as in like really close by. They're literally like down the street where I live or so. There's one that's literally like right at the corner where I live, and then there's another one like a block away to the left, and that's basically, it's like in some like little shopping center or something like that, you know. It's really close by. I have like 2 of them that are like nearby to me, which is kind of insane, to be frankly honest. I'm like, it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, this stank one is pretty crazy. Was there any crazy encounters that I've ever seen or so at conventions? No, not really, to be honest. I think it's just mostly like the stinky people. That's about it. But this was like super early days or so. That's kind of like frankly it though. There was like nothing else. Yeah, there's like nothing else specifically. It was just people that just kind of stanky. But I had never seen somebody who shat on the floor though. That's just all kinds of wrong right there. I don't think we had anything like that here. Never had anything like that. Where I went to a convention, at least through our experiences. Yeah, nah, fuck that, dude. That's nasty though. And then you have Yune over here who have people coming on the floor apparently. Ew, it's nasty. Stop it. Fucking learn some goddamn manners. Goddamn, bro. You're at a convention. Fucking godly. Blech.